Hey everybody, what is up? Fourth Serif here. Today we are going to do a deep dive on Sunpower. I've been doing a lot of research, asking a bunch of questions, and I have figured out some very concerning things about what has been happening at the company. Before we get into it, please leave a like, subscribe, leave a comment. Helps me out tremendously. This video took a lot of time to put together all the information. I'm not going to pull up receipts on every single thing. That would just take too long. I don't have like Premiere Pro right now. I'm using Adobe's like online editor for my videos, trying to cut some costs out of my life, and it is a huge hassle to work with. So, all of this, just if I bring up anything and I'm not showing a specific like screenshot of that, quick Google search, you'll be able to find all of this information. It's all over Twitter as well. This is basically a compilation of things a lot of other people have figured out, as well as a few things that I've figured out by asking some questions as well. But I'm going to try and go through all the information that I have figured out, because this is pretty crazy. I don't know how they're just getting away with this, I guess. But let's just go ahead and get into it. If this is the first video you're watching in my kind of Sunpower series now, please go watch the other two. It'll have a lot more kind of information leading up to it. I know everyone online right now is like, oh, obviously Sunpower sucks. Like, you guys are idiots for investing. And if anyone said that they knew this information ahead of time, they were lying. The reason that this stock has underperformed to this level and is down so much is because of fraud. It is because of illegal activity. People should be in prison for this. This was not a thing that people could have predicted, because typically companies do not commit crimes to this extent. So, I don't know where this leads us going forward. Sunpower, it's unfortunate because I think it is actually a good product. But it just has one of the worst executive teams I've ever seen. And so a few things. So first we got to start off with, they fired their CEO and CFO, right? We know that they were not doing their accounting correctly. And really at this point, I don't have proof of this, but I am fairly convinced that the old CEO or CFO was actually, they weren't misaccounting, they were cooking their books. I think they were purposefully and intentionally misrepresenting their finances to make the stock price higher, to get more bonuses, to attract more investors, to do whatever. I think it was intentional. I think it's pretty obvious at this point that that is the culture at this company. I still hope the stock goes back up, but I'm definitely not going to be like a super long-term investor in Sunpower. I would like to recuperate some of my losses, which you can see on screen. Stock's at about $1 today. We've been seeing swings between like 80 cents to $1. So, just say from a financial perspective, potentially a chance to make some money there. I did buy a couple days ago at like 77, sold it at 110 like a day or two ago. But here we are now, sitting at about $1. How did we get here? So CEO, CFO cooking the books, they leave because of that. They hired a new interim CFO, or I guess kind of promoted. It is this guy here, Guthrie Dundas. Probably not saying that correctly. Never seen that last name before. But they did then get another person here. It looks like, at least what AI is saying. I haven't seen this anywhere else. On the mobile version, when I was doing research, that didn't pull up. So I believe that this isn't actually accurate, but it could be. I haven't seen a press release about that. But this person worked at the company already, was promoted to the role of CFO. This person committed insider trading. So not only did the CEO and CFO leave because they were cooking the books, but then the person that they appointed to take over as interim CFO and help fix the situation sold stock a few days before their accounting firm announced that they were cutting ties because they did not want to be tied to anything that Sunpower was doing. And now I speculated about this in the last video that I think the accounting firm did not leave because of Sunpower's actions with the past CEO and past CFO. They left because of the things that the current management team was doing. That they found that they were cooking the books again, that they were lying, that they were misrepresenting things, that they were fudging the numbers, all of this stuff, and they didn't want to tie their names to that. Because if a company does their forms wrong and you come in, like, that's what they were hired to do, right? They were hired to come in and say, these forms were wrong, so we're going to fix all your stuff for you. That's what you're signing your name to. That's the expectation. So they're not leaving because of these, 2023 numbers. They're leaving because their 2024 numbers were still wrong, and they were being asked to sign off on them to get the stock price bumped back up for all the executive team, because Guthrie over here, as well as multiple other directors, all sold stock right around the same time within a couple days of their accounting firm dropping them and saying there's fraud happening here, we're not interested, we're leaving, which caused the stock to drop like a rock, right? So they all sold, they all got out before it was public knowledge. If that's not insider trading, I don't know what is. That's not even where it stops, though. That's just to give you an idea of the management team. The other thing that I realized, because this news came out, people have been telling me, oh, well, Sunpower is going to go bankrupt. Sunpower is going to go bankrupt. Okay. Sunpower, this is from their newsroom, secures $550 million loan purchase commitment from KKR. Okay. This was on May 3rd. From May 3rd to, what was it, a week ago now? Did they spend $550 million? Because okay, let's even assume, right? Because typically, if you're buying $550 million of loans, you're making your money on the interest, right? These are long-term loans. I think when I was selling solar and we were doing 20-year loans, right? So it's you're making a lot in interest over 20 years, right? But it's over 20 years, so sell off the loans. But let's say that even KKR, this firm, gets it at a discount, pays $450 million, $475, no matter how good of a deal they got, Sunpower had a ton of capital, right? How did they burn through all that cash in that time? There's no way that they used $500 million in 2 months. In June and July. I guess part of May, Quick $500 million spending. Do you know why they didn't spend $500 million in that time? It's because they never got the money. I've searched through KKR. They have no statements anymore about this supposed deal. And when I started looking through the fine print of here and all the news reporters and everything, the deal was not finalized. The deal was based on certain financial things on Sunpower's end. Essentially, KKR was saying that we want to do this deal, but we're going to look through Sunpower's finances, make sure everything's on the up and up, and if it is, the deal can go through. Now, no one ever announced anything. I'm sure Sunpower asked them to not say anything. This deal was never going to happen because obviously Sunpower was not handling their finances well. Remember when Elon tweeted, funding secured? Yeah, no, I don't need immediate access. Thanks. Thanks, LA Times. I'm actually good. Musk's funding secured tweet cost Tesla investors $12 billion. Remember when he said that he had secured funding and it actually wasn't? Someone had just kind of given him a, sure, we'll do it. And it was based on all this other stuff and it never actually came together. SEC was real mad about that one. Where they at? Gary Gensler, where you at? Shouldn't be busy. Your buddy Sam Bankman-Fried's in prison. Who do you have to go eat lunches with, make backroom deals with now that he's gone? Sunpower released a statement saying they had gotten funding and ran the stock up to $4.39 because of that. When they did not actually have the money in the bank, the deal was not secured, funding was not secured. They were in talks for a deal dependent upon other factors that they did not meet, and they did not get the money. If that's not fraud, I don't know what is. If that's not worth an indictment, I don't know what is. I mean, this is one of the greatest financial malpractices I think we've seen. I mean, it's like you might as well just have Bernie Madoff run your company, because it's that level of fraud. It's that level of financial crime. It's like everything they do at this point is illegal. It's a total sham. And if I believed that the market was in any way rational, I'd just sell all my stock at this point, to be honest. Take my $1,800, say, well, that $3,300 loss sucks. But, you know, maybe the market is irrational. Maybe the whole board goes away and whatever happens and the stock goes back up. I don't know. That's the only hope that I'm hanging on to at this point. But they didn't have the money. Long and short of it. They said they did, and they didn't. Because if that amount of loans had been purchased, they would have the capital to operate. So we get from here, where it's, we just got an extra $550 million, to here, where we're ceasing operations. This amount of time, $500 million, supposedly. Except it was never there, and they never said anything about it. That's the problem, is that they never came out and said this didn't happen, because they wanted their stock price to remain high so they could continue sell-offs throughout this point, because they knew what was coming. As soon as this money wasn't secured, they knew that this day was coming right here. They knew that was going to happen. So they all sold off as much stock as they could during this time here, so that we could hold the bag for them while they got rich. Do you know that there are people, the executive teams are making like millions of dollars a year? They got paid millions of dollars for this right here. For this right here. Minus 91% year to date. Hundreds of thousands, millions of dollars in salaries for that. You're underpaid at your job. I'm underpaid at mine, because I make my company money. When I go to work, I actually make them money. Maybe that's my problem. Maybe if I lost some money, I'd get paid more. I'm going to try that from now on. You should too. You know? Working the cash register, give them the cash. Don't take their money, give them yours. Get a pay increase. That's how it works, apparently. So, I mean, we just have this pile of unbelievable fraud. And even still, okay? So I reached out to Blue Raven Solar, which is owned by Sunpower. And let me pull it up, because So first of all, their mobile website doesn't even work. I can't load it on my phone. But I asked them if they were still operational because it wasn't loading. Went and checked on my computer, and because they said their website was still up and it does load the web version, just not the mobile. But then I asked them, wait, so are you guys still in business? Because it sounds like Sunpower has ceased all these operations. So what are you selling? And they said that they are. Additionally, Blue Raven Solar is operational in 20 different states. For more information, visit our website. And I said, how has Sunpower cease in certain operations affected Blue Raven? You're still able to deliver product despite them halting operations? And they said, thank you for clarifying, and we apologize for any inconvenience. We're looking into this further, but would recommend clearing your cache. So then they just go back to the website stuff. And then they say, oh, well, actually, you can just contact us at this other email. No response from them on that email. But they're still saying, even Blue Raven saying, well, hey, we're operating still. But Sunpower's not delivering it. They only sell Sunpower. I mean, it's a Sunpower company. So the fraud continues. I mean, that is what this company's MO is. Just say whatever you need to say to try and keep prices up. Push the truth out as long as possible. Hide information as long as possible. Be as deceptive as possible. Not good. So, I mean, we basically have, at this point, an entire executive team insider trading, them lying about funding, them halting operations. It's pretty bad. It is. It's kind of crazy. I don't know where we go from here. They are supposedly going to announce results on sorry, that's an old one. So they are supposed to be releasing new information here at some point. But I don't know. Are we going to see anything? Are they just going to quietly close down? I don't know. Is the SEC ever going to get involved? I don't know. And, you know, the main reason that I ask you guys to like the video, whatever, I mean, yeah, I'm trying to get my YouTube channel remonetized. I stopped making videos for a while and lost monetization. Didn't see an email that said you just have to like upload a certain amount. It wasn't, guys, I didn't even need to get views. I literally just needed to upload like 3 videos in a quarter, and I didn't do it. And now I need 4,000 hours watched again, which is super fun for me. Not that I was really like making money on YouTube, but you know, I mean, a couple thousand views here and there, you know, pay for some groceries or something. But mostly it's just like, because the stock is so beaten down and crazy and whatever, all the online conversation now is just by like these day trading accounts, and no one's talking about like, hey, SEC, look into this. And they should. Like, the government should be protecting us from these things. And it's like, think how much of our tax money goes to paying all the salaries of the people at the SEC, and they aren't actually doing anything to protect anyone. Like, just give us the money back. If they're not going to do anything, like, you know, this was obvious. If someone on Twitter can make a AI that just tracks, like, you know, people's stock trades, then how come the government can't do that to track when all the executives dump all their shares right before, you know, a stock goes down, and they just arrest those people? Like, the fact that there's an executive team just walking around free after committing insider trading in such a blatant and obvious way is absolutely wild to me. It is such a failure of our government and our financial system that these things are allowed to happen. You know, that this company just so blatantly lied is wild to me. Frustrating, you know. And it's frustrating too, because it is a good product. And, you know, hopefully we can all learn lessons from this. If you've watched any of my other investing videos, one thing I always talk about is like how I invest is pretty simple. Typically, my main investments have always been in companies that like handle their finances well, make a good product, and that's pretty much it. Apple, Accenture, Tesla, and this company was a risk for me because it had the good product, and I was like, their finances haven't been that great, but they should be able to fix it, and they should have. And it's crazy that they didn't. But people that do these type of things, unfortunately, like typically you don't do the wrong thing for a long time and then switch to doing the right thing. And in this case, it doesn't seem like it was just one or two bad people at the company. It really seems like they have a culture of corruption, fraud, and illicit activities. And I hope that they all end up in prison for a very long time. But that's about it. If I get any more information, I will update you guys more. I have tried to reach out to KKR, to Blue Raven, to Sunpower to get more information on these things. And hopefully, Sunpower gives us some good news here at some point, but I don't know if they will. But until next time, guys, hang in there. I know we all had some big losses. Some of the guys in the comments have been telling me, like, how significant your losses are. I feel for you. I mean, mine was definitely not fun, but is not life-ruining, losing $3,000. I can get over that. But that's about all I got for you in this video. Check out my other Sunpower videos. Watch some of my other investing videos. Would love to go over some of that with you guys. Hear any of your feedback. If you guys have any more information, I know a lot of Sunpower like employees and people who have worked with them and stuff are commenting on these videos, and it's been really interesting to hear everyone's experience. Or if you have a Sunpower system on your house, I'd love to know. But until next time, guys, I will see you on the trading floor.